For years, most AI tools were basically very confident text boxes. You asked a question, they gave you an answer, and then you decided what to do with it. AI agents are different. An agent can use tools. It might browse websites, read files, write files, run code, call an API, work inside a connected app, or create a pull request. In other words, a chatbot gives advice, an agent can take action. That is useful. That is also where things get spicy. Today I want to show you a practical way to think about AI agents, what they are, why people are excited about them, where they can go wrong, and how to experiment without handing the keys to your whole digital house to a robot with excellent grammar. Here is the plain English version. An AI agent is an AI system that can use tools to work toward a goal. That might mean a browser, a terminal, files, apps, APIs, calendars, email, GitHub, spreadsheets, or some other connector. The important part is that the AI is not only generating text. It can observe something, decide what to do next, use a tool, look at the result, and continue. OpenAI describes ChatGPT agent as using its own virtual computer with things like browser tools, terminal access, API access, and connectors. GitHub describes Copilot Cloud Agent as being able to research a repository, create a plan, make changes on a branch, run tests and linters, and let a human review the result. Those are real capabilities. They are not just autocomplete with a hat, but the exact features vary by tool, account, plan, operating system, and date. So this is not a product shootout. The safety workflow matters more than the brand name. Agents are useful because a lot of computer work is not one question. It is a sequence. Find the files, read them, summarize them, make a plan, create a draft, run a check, revise the draft. That is where agents start to feel helpful. For a creator, an agent might turn a folder of notes into an episode brief. For a sysadmin, it might summarize logs and suggest safe next checks. For a coder, it might inspect a project and propose a small bug fix. For a regular Windows user, it might help organize a test folder or explain what a script is doing. The good use cases are usually small, bounded, and easy to verify. That phrase matters, easy to verify. If you cannot tell whether the agent did a good job, you are not supervising it. You are just hoping. Agents get dangerous when they have too much reach. If an agent can read your files, it may read the wrong files. If it can write files, it may overwrite something important. If it can run commands, it may run a command you do not understand. If it can use your browser, it may interact with websites while logged in as you. If it can access connected apps, it may see private email, calendars, documents, or code. And if it can spend money, send messages, publish content, deploy software, or delete things. Now we are no longer playing with a fancy text generator. We are giving a system real-world consequences. The danger is not just that the AI might be wrong. The danger is that the AI might be wrong while holding a wrench. There is another risk with agents, prompt injection. That sounds fancy, but the idea is simple. The agent reads something untrusted like a web page, email, document, or code comment. Hidden inside that content are instructions trying to manipulate the agent. For a regular chatbot, that may produce a bad answer. For an agent with tools, the risk is bigger because the agent might act on the bad instruction. OpenAI calls prompt injection a risk for agentic systems. OWASP lists prompt injection and excessive agency among the major risks for LLM applications. So again, the goal is not panic. The goal is to limit what the agent can see and do, especially when it is reading outside material. Here is the mental model I want you to keep. Permissions are the difference between look at this test folder and operate on my computer. Those are not the same request. The safe habit is called least privilege. That just means you give the agent the smallest amount of access it needs to do the job. If the task is to summarize 3 fake files, it does not need your whole documents folder. If the task is to draft a folder plan, it does not need permission to move files yet. If the task is to suggest a script, it does not need to run the script before you understand it. Approval prompts are helpful. Sandboxes are helpful. Logs are helpful. But none of them remove your responsibility to slow down when the tool is about to do something consequential. That is not anti-AI. That is normal tool safety. Let's make this practical. For your first agent experiment, do not use your real files. Create a folder like this, agent-sandbox, with an inbox folder, an output folder, and a README file. Inside inbox, put 3 fake or harmless text files. Nothing private, no passwords, no client data, no tax documents, no API keys, nothing that would ruin your afternoon if it got copied somewhere weird. Now give the agent a very narrow job. Only read files inside agent-sandbox/inbox. Do not edit, move, rename, or delete anything. First, summarize what is in each file. Second, propose a folder organization plan. Third, write your proposed plan to agent-sandbox/output/plan.md. Ask before making any other changes. Notice what this does. It names the workspace. It limits the input folder. It forbids destructive actions. It asks for a plan. It limits output to 1 file. And it tells the agent to ask before doing anything else. That is a much better first experiment than clean up my computer. Please do not start with clean up my computer. That is the kind of sentence that makes backup drives clutch their pearls. Before you let an agent do anything, ask these questions. Is the task small? Is the data fake, copied, or non-sensitive? Does the agent only have access to the folder or app it needs? Could this action send, delete, spend, publish, install, deploy, or run code? Did the agent show a plan before acting? Can I undo the result? Did I review the output before accepting it? If the answer to any of those makes you squint, slow down. That is not fear. That is good computer hygiene. Here are some bad first tasks. Organize my entire documents folder. Log into my bank and handle this. Clean up my email. Fix my production server. Run whatever commands are needed. Deploy this to the internet. Could an agent help with parts of those someday in the right setup with the right controls? Sure, but as a beginner, those are not first date tasks. Those are, we have been working together for a while and I have backups tasks. Start boring. Boring is underrated. A good first task is small, local, reversible, easy to check, and uses fake data. For example, summarize these 3 sample files and create a proposed organization plan. Or read this copied project note and turn it into a checklist. Or look at this tiny test script and explain what it does, but do not run it. You are not trying to prove the agent can run your life. You are trying to learn how it behaves. That is the difference between experimenting and gambling. AI agents are powerful because they can connect thinking to action. That is also why they are risky. The practical answer is not panic, and it is not blind trust. It is controlled experiments. Small task, small workspace. No secrets. Plan first. Review before action. Undo path ready. If you treat agents like capable interns with computer access, you will give them clear instructions, limited permissions, and a review step before anything important changes. Try the sandbox folder experiment yourself. If the agent follows your limits, great. If it does not, even better, you just learned that lesson in a sandbox instead of in your real documents folder. That is a win.